Hello, everybody, and welcome to another live stream this week. And what a crazy week it's been. G'day, Matt. We've got my colleague Matt here with us today, and we're going to be looking after everything from news highlights. There's been a lot of news this week to Twitter highlights, adoption highlight, and obviously the market analysis. Now, Matty, looks like Elon Musk is at it again, eh?
Yeah, Mr. Pump It, Mr. Dump It. So some news this week that Tesla sold 75% of their Bitcoin holdings. At least it's not all of it, which is a good thing. But whale games, that's what happens when you can move the market with billions of dollars. You may as well sell off, short the market, and buy back lower.
That's right. And yeah, 75%. But he actually sold at a loss too, didn't he? Because he have diamond hands when he first bought Bitcoin, and now he's sold at a loss.
Yeah, look, we don't really know what price he purchased at. I know that the price was around about 30K when he did say that he was entering the market back in 2021. So yeah, who knows? He may be, broke even. We don't know the full scope. I guess we will never know with these big companies, but we'll talk about this a little bit more in today's live stream, I'm sure.
That's it. We sure will. So welcome, guys. Make sure if you are watching us on YouTube, you subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. If you are on Facebook, give us a like, share, and whatnot so you can get people to know more about what we're talking about and increase the audience here so that we can serve more and more people. So let's start off. I'll start off with the what am I doing? I'm doing the news update. I'll start off with the news update, and then I'll bring you in, Matty, Twitter highlight. All right. So first up, we spoke. I think it was last week. We mentioned that there was some protests over in China for and around the banks. We spoke about some banks have now stopped withdrawals, and therefore a lot of the borrowers and the people that have their savings in there can't access their money now. So what has come out this week is there's been images that have not been verified that there is some this is the wrong one, that China deployed, but they've actually taken this down on a lot of news channels, that China's deployed some tanks into the streets to calm the unrest. Now, this was on Channel 7 as well as some other major mainstream media sites, but then it has been taken down. What we do know is China has a history of censorship, so we don't know whether this is true or not. But what this is telling us is more and more civil unrest happening around the world. We spoke about Panama the other day, and now we're speaking about China. We're speaking about protests around the world. So very, very interesting times that we live in. Next one up, we have copper price is going down, which shows an analyst, and wait for this to load. So a strategist has come on to CNBC, and he said that copper prices are signaling that investors are bearish on the economy. And the reason why he's saying that is because he goes on to talk about that although the demand for copper is higher than the supply, the price of copper is going down. So this is telling him that the investors, the people that are investing in things, they are bearish on the long-term effect of the market. And then he also speaks about that, this is been a leading indicator of the sentiment in the market, and also speaks about how COVID, and even though China is looking at increasing productivity, people are not expecting productivity to go up, and therefore they're not expecting demand to go up. So interesting times ahead there. In the next one we have coming up is Samsung now is launching a new mining chip that will be 45% more energy efficient. Now, this is not the first time that Samsung have actually got into crypto and blockchain and NFTs and whatnot. They've already they've been doing Bitcoin mining chips since 2019, but this new chip that they're bringing out now is going to be 45% more efficient, which means that when we are in a bear market like this, miners can continue to mine. Because what's happening right now with we're in a bear market, is an increase in inflation and increase in the energy costs. So we're seeing a lot of miners shutting their their miners down because they can't afford to continue to pay for the bill because they are no longer in profit. So what this particular technology will do will allow them to save up to 45% more energy by doing so, which is obviously good for the environment also. Samsung has also launched or brought out a TV where you can buy NFTs, and also brought out a phone which is completely on the Ethereum network. So these large companies are seeing they're seeing where the future of blockchain is. They're seeing the future of cryptocurrencies, and they're getting invested really, really, really big time right now. So interesting to see what's happening over there. Next one in the news highlights, we have the weakening yen. If this decides to load. So the weakening yen puts Japan to the test. So traditionally speaking, the yen was a safe haven. People put their money in it. It was a very, very stable currency. But what we're seeing right now, even though there's quantitative tightening around the world, the Japanese government is still doing quantitative easing. So they're still printing money. They still have low interest rates. They're giving out stimulus checks and whatnot. So what we're seeing over there is more money being printed, which obviously is going to devalue the yen, which is just more evidence that had their money been controlled by something like a code, like Bitcoin is, where no one can say, you know what, we're going through a bit of a tough time, we just create more Bitcoin. You can never create more than 21 million Bitcoin, and policies like this would not happen under a Bitcoin standard. So we're starting to see more and more of the traditional financial system cracking because of bad government decisions. And, we're going to be going through some really, really interesting times ahead. Next up, we have Mr. Tesla himself. We've got Elon Musk. So Elon Musk has come out and Tesla's come out and said they've sold 75% of their Bitcoin profits due to production and production charges. So, one of the reasons why in this article they explain is his factory in China has been shut down due to COVID. The zero COVID policy in China and their lockdowns. They don't expect the productivity. They're having productivity issues in these factories over in the US. So they're expecting to be in a bit of a credit crunch, and they're almost not profitable. So they sold their Bitcoin to try and save the company. So this is just showing how tremendous this bear market is. There's a lot of companies. We're seeing banks falling over. We're seeing companies, large companies, and even companies like Tesla to be able to sell their Bitcoin. When Elon Musk a year ago or whatever it was when he bought, he put up that he has diamond hands. So obviously the man does not have that. So just more challenges of what we are seeing right now. And now we'll bring on Maddie to do the Twitter highlight.
Thank you, Wasim. Alrighty, today with our first tweet, it's from Masari. So basically they say, which of these protocols has the most favorable token allocation considering what they have developed? So the data shows how decentralized a crypto project is. There's a lot of misconception that all blockchain projects are decentralized, and that's obviously not the case. Some project coins are held mostly by its founders and insiders, example, venture capitalists and hedge funds that have maybe got early access or fronted some seed capital to some of these projects, and Solana is definitely one of them, where a tiny fraction of the public sale a tiny fraction of the sale went to the public, and 61% of the coins are held by founders. So we saw obviously a really huge growth in Solana last year, reaching I think up to $220, and it's pulled back considerably. It's had a lot of blockchain issues, but I think a lot of those initial investors saw really good returns on their money and obviously dumped it in the face of the public, which is a little bit annoying to see. Now, Tezos is a good example where only 20% of coins are held by the founders and insiders, and the rest with the community. And you can see on the top left as well, Ethereum is pretty much decentralized with 80% 80% of the holdings held by the public. So that's also pretty good. All right, moving on to the next tweet from BitBoy Crypto, who has the second largest channel on YouTube. So he says, common myth, institutions and corporations that buy Bitcoin have iron hands and never sell. Reality, they will use their holdings to dump the price so they can short it and then use their profits from the short to accumulate more Bitcoin at lower price. So basically, if you're someone that has at least 10,000 Bitcoins, you can move the market quite easily, especially right now where the amount of coins on exchanges is at an all-time low. All-time low because people are buying their dip. All-time low because smart investors are taking their coins off exchanges because of things such as Three Arrows, Celsius, etc. So they are becoming, they are holding the custody of their own coins. And what they can do technically is if they put those coins back on the market and sell them, they can make price move quite rapidly. Now, if they have traders part of their company that can open up short positions whilst they're selling their Bitcoin, they technically can accumulate as much, if not more, Bitcoin than what they're selling. And then with all the profits that they're making from the short, they can obviously then also then buy back their BTC at a cheaper price. This would technically be, in a way, insider trading. But because the crypto market is still quite unregulated, this type of stuff is quite common. You see this in a lot of smaller capped coins where you see pump and dumps, and we can still see it in Bitcoin because the liquidity of coins on exchanges right now is quite low. The order books are quite thin, so we can see a lot of volatility. And because the price of Bitcoin is so low, I spoke about this at the last DC live stream. Now that we're about 20K, $1,000 move either way is 5%. And most of these hedge funds, if they can make 5% in a year, they make their investors really happy. 10% is excellent. That's kind of the ballpark that guys like Warren Buffett look to do. But really, crypto, we see, thousands and hundreds of percent increases in most of these coins. So these guys are smart. They just want to get in, get out quite rapidly and make their investors happy. So let's move on to the next tweet by Altcoin Daily. I think now is an outstanding time to be dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin and Ethereum. So we've spoken about this before. We don't believe that the low is in, but you should have already been purchasing Bitcoin when we hit below 20,000 because 20,000 was the previous all-time high. And DCAing during the bear market is, the right strategy. No one knows where the bottom is. People can predict it. You can see so many predictions on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, whatever. Of course, there will be some people that are correct, but 99% of the rest will be incorrect. So because it's hard to pick the bottom, it's always really important that you DC. This is our strategy. If you can DCA into any currency around its previous all-time high, that's always a good time. And for altcoins, usually 90 to 95% retracement from the all-time high is usually also a really good buy time. And if you have TradingView, for example, which we will show you later on in this DC live stream, there's actually a ruler. There's a ruler which you can utilize to actually measure the percentage retracement of coins, so you know if it's a good time to purchase those. Alrighty, moving on to tweet number 4 by Plan B. And he says, in hindsight, it's so easy. It's either a generational buying opportunity like the end of 2011, beginning of 2012, 2015, and the end of 2018 or beginning of 2019. So, and he finishes off with, all this time is different and the world ends. So basically saying, hey, in this image, you can see that the RSI is shown in the yellow line, and that's called the relative strength index. When we're at the bottom of this sort of channel, okay, just take the entire image as a channel. When we're at the bottom of the channel, that just means that the price of the asset is oversold, and we need to start reversing the line to go back up. And when we're at the top of the band or the top of this channel, we're in the overbought channel. So we can see with the blue dotted line, that is the price of Bitcoin. So when you can match up the all-time highs and the RSI, we know that we're close to a top. Right now, the price of Bitcoin has retraced a lot. The RSI is quite low. So it's saying that, hey, we are at the bottom or close to the bottom. So now is obviously a great time to dollar cost average. All right. And lastly, on our tweets, we have Anthony Pompliano. And he talks about something we just mentioned before. Self-custody is a key component of Bitcoin's value proposition. It is imperative that you learn how it works, whether you use a ledger or another provider, make sure you are educated, get the full value of Bitcoin, become a self-custody Bitcoiner. So having self-custody of your coins and learning to be your own bank is imperative. You know, if you are entering the space, it can look. I remember the first time I transferred crypto from exchanges onto my ledger. I was absolutely crapping myself thinking, is this going to work? Are the coins going to land? Especially because sometimes it takes up to 10 minutes and even longer sometimes, depending how many coins are obviously on the move. The block sizes can be delayed. There's a lot of congestion in the network, especially as miners shut down. Transactions are slower because there's less people validating transactions. And, you know, you kind of crap yourself. You're just waiting. You're waiting for that confirmation email that your funds have landed in your ledger or on the exchange. But at the end of the day, unless you are a trader like myself, even as a trader, I keep 90% of my coins off exchanges on a ledger, and the remaining coins that I do trade with are on exchanges. So God forbid the exchange does go under. I still don't have the majority of my capital, you know, somewhere where I can't access it, because at the end of the day, if it's off an exchange and on a ledger or a Nano or a Trez or whatever you're using, then it can't be touched. It's on the blockchain. It will forever be on the blockchain. So I don't think the internet is going to collapse anytime soon because people are going to lose their mind if that happens. But you should be in control of your coins, and the only way to do that is by having a hardware wallet. So if you're out there, no matter how much you have invested in crypto, it's always important to be safe and keep your keys and your wallets in a secret place that only you can access. Alrighty, that is it for the tweets. We're now going to move over to the adoption highlights with Wasim, and he's going to talk about a couple of UFC athletes that are looking to get paid with crypto. So, Wasim, take it away.
Thank you very much, Matt. All right, so first up, excuse me. First up, UFC fighter will receive full salary in Bitcoin, shrugs off crypto market volatility. So, Brazilian UFC fighter Luana Pinheiro, she becomes the first female sportswoman to fully accept in Latin America to receive her entire salary in Bitcoin. So what she's done is she's partnered up with a company called Bitwage that basically she gets paid. So she gets paid from UFC in fiat, goes to Bitwage. Bitwage automatically trades for exchanges off of Bitcoin and gives her Bitcoin. So she's a very, very smart woman because she understands that over the long term, Bitcoin is what you want to accumulate, and she's turning her whole salary into that. Now, when she was asked about the volatility, she goes, I look at this as I look at jiu-jitsu. And what I did was I had to take 10 to 15 years to get my my black belt in Brazilian jiu-jitsu. So now is a perfect time, and I have the same type of time horizon for this and even longer. So everything else is just noise, and the lower the price, the more Bitcoin I can secure for my future. So she's showing her belief in Bitcoin. She's obviously done her research and understands where cryptocurrencies are going. She's not the only one. Her boyfriend is also in the same boat, so he's also a UFC fighter. She also then speaks about how she understands inflation, that even though there is, like what we're seeing right now, is despite the inflation that's happening, Bitcoin's purchasing power is still quite strong. And, when as we say in crypto, when in doubt, zoom out. In 2020, Bitcoin, in March 2020, Bitcoin was $3,000. Today it's $22,000. So even though it's had a major crash or major pullback, it's still a very strong asset. And this is what they're talking about here. And also talking about a few other athletes that are now accepting their wages in Bitcoin. Also, UFC, as most of you guys know, has done deals with Crypto.com and other crypto exchanges. So it's getting very, very embedded in sport. Next up, we've got Crypto.com receives regulatory approval to provide services in Italy. So this is a big win for Crypto.com because they have been laying people off recently due to the bear market, but this is going to open up new markets for them and hopefully give the company more strength. So they've been in, obviously we've spoken about them in the past, that even though they lay people off, they said they're still dedicated to continue to grow the business, and they were going to focus on Europe. So this is the first, obviously, one of the early wins. So good on them, because they are working hard to make the crypto community strong. Next one. So we spoke about Samsung in the news highlights about how they are releasing the new mining chip, and obviously Matt spoke to you guys to why the new mining chip is important. Now what we're looking at is LG, which is one of the world's largest electronic companies, is venturing into TVs, issuing, or venturing into the metaverse by releasing TVs that are going to be issuing and trading NFTs. So in this article, they're really just talking about how many large companies like LG, now they're doing NFTs called LG Art Lab. Samsung has done the same thing. All these companies are filing for patents in the metaverse because they are seeing the writing on the wall, and they know where the metaverse is going to go in the future. Next up, we have French banking giant BNP Paribas enters crypto custody space, sources say. So it's not new that we've spoken about. I think we spoke about this on Tuesday, that banks are now looking at custody services for crypto, because they understand that for them to keep it, to continue growing and have customers, they're going to need to have those crypto custody services, because the majority of people, or a lot of people, are turning to crypto, and adoption is happening quite fast. But why is this a little bit different? Now, it is a little bit different because this particular bank is one of the largest banks in the world. And if it has over $13 trillion in assets under custody. So for a bank of that size to be looking at this is a very, very bullish sign for the crypto space over the long term. And the last adoption highlight for today is a Globin survey says that most gamers believe metaverse will change the gaming industry. So gamers have been a little bit they've been divided over what the metaverse will do for gaming. Some of the hardcore gamers, I'm not a gamer, so I don't really understand that culture. But basically, what they're saying in this particular article is that they found that it was something like 70% of gamers see that the metaverse will have a positive effect on 41% said that it will have a positive effect on gaming, while 25% disagree with this. So it still shows there's still a bit of divide there. And what else we got here? So they also in the same survey, they also surveyed them about cryptocurrencies and NFTs, and some gamers still weren't really bullish or confident with cryptocurrencies, or stayed away from it, as well as they stayed away from NFTs. So interesting development there. And lastly, they talk about that Meta, unfortunately, is now gaining the brand association with the metaverse, with over 73% of gamers linking the platform with this concept. So that's not very good news here for the metaverse, because we don't want centralized companies like Meta to have control over it. That's it for me. I will bring Maddie on for the market update. Market highlight.
Yeah, thank you, Wasim. Alrighty, so we're going to have a quick look at the BTC chart. Over the last sort of week or so, we've made our way from 19,000 all the way up to 24,200. And I expect a bit of a pullback possibly over the next couple of days. We're well above the orange line, which is the 20 EMA, the 20-period exponential moving average. So we'll probably come back down to try and test that as a bit of support. I'm also looking at about 21,800. That is the point of control of the entire sideways range that we've had over the last month. So if we can go down there and find support, that's going to give us some more upside. I see an upside around about $26,000 to $28,000. And then possibly some further downside, depending as well what the normal markets do, such as the S&P, the NASDAQ, etc. Now, we've talked about this before, and if Wasim goes to the next tab, we're going to show you the DXY. Now, the DXY has an inverse correlation with Bitcoin. When it goes up, Bitcoin goes down. When it goes down, Bitcoin goes up. So we can see over the last week, the DXY has pulled back from 180 to 140. But basically, we're going to see Bitcoin continuously pump if we get more of a retracement from the DXY, because that is, where people are parking their funds, especially when there's talk of a recession. People want to put their money in cash, even though really they should be putting it in hard assets that do not increase in numbers, such as Bitcoin. Wasim covered that during the stream. There will never be more than 21 million Bitcoin created. And that's why the price of Bitcoin will continuously go up, because we can't have quantitative easing of Bitcoin. We can't create more Bitcoin, and also in order to dilute the market cap. And that's why, Bitcoin will always be the most solid project out there, and the most decentralized, because no one person can control Bitcoin. It can't be shut down by any governments. And it's just too big these days with the adoption that we've had over the last 12 years since its creation. More and more people are entering the crypto market, and especially knowing that if they want to hedge against inflation, stagflation, and recessions, they want to put their money in hard-earned assets like Bitcoin. So that's it for the market update. I am traveling today, and unfortunately, we cannot do the fundamentals that we normally like to do on Friday. But what I might do is I will record a video on Monday, post it up into the group to let you know what's happening on chain, coins moving, what's the sentiment like on the back end of the blockchain, to sort of let us know, hey, are we going to continuously see further upside with Bitcoin? Has the bottom obviously come in? We did have the Pi cycle bottom indicator flash that the bottom was in, but at the end of the day, this is the first time that the crypto market is going through a recession, because it's going to go through a recession if the normal markets go through a recession. So this is basically uncharted territory for crypto. This is why crypto was created, to be what's the word I'm looking for? A hedge against recessions, inflation, and all the economic turmoil that the large governments are imposing on their people. So Wasim, I know we've got a couple of updates to let people know about. Obviously, the Brisbane Roadshow coming up next week.
Totally agree with what you were saying there, mate. We're definitely going through some very, very interesting time all around the world, not just in crypto, but at many different macro viewpoints of things you can look at, from government turmoil, protests happening around the world, inflation. Very, very interesting times ahead. So this is why, guys, now is the time for you to be really learning about what cryptocurrencies are going to be doing, where they are in the future, and what opportunities are available. So if you haven't started, if you don't know, if you want to get started with the basics, please make sure you jump on decryptingcrypto.com, grab a copy of our free course plus our newsletter, and just stay educated, because this is a space that we all need to be paying attention to. Alrighty, so okay, you had someone say, money?
I was just going to say, if you want to, if you live in Australia or even overseas, but probably not going to come for the Brisbane Roadshow, it is on next weekend. If you want to meet us in person, we will be there. It's hosted at the Hilton in the Brisbane CBD. So we're staying there for a couple of nights. Meet and greet some of our members that I know are going to be turning up, and we've got a little link below. If you want to grab one of the 20 free tickets, use the discount code BREAK100 at that AussieCryptoRoadshow.com website, and we look forward to seeing you guys there if you do show up.
Thanks, guys. And furthermore, if you are interested in learning about cryptocurrency, we are holding a webinar a workshop on Wednesday and Thursday. So Wednesday evening at 6 p.m. Tuesday evening at 6 p.m. right after the live stream, and then Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. for our North American friends out there. So I'll put that there. It's there already. So breakout.co/1K day, guys. Register for the event. We'd love to see you there. Go deeper into this amazing world of cryptocurrency and help you guys see what we're seeing here.
And just on that, guys, before we let you go, we're actually offering $20 of BUSD, the crypto BUSD, which is a stable coin for any newcomer to our webinars. If you've never been to one of our educational webinars, we're actually paying you to attend. So we will grab your address on the stream. We obviously would like you to attend because we're an educational company. We want to educate you guys about crypto, safety, security, scams. And obviously, we can only do that by reaching more people. So we're incentivizing individuals from this group who attend that have never been to one of our webinars with a $20 BUSD airdrop. So please come along either Tuesday or Wednesday next week. Registration is on the screen right now. And Wassim and I look forward to seeing you there.
That's it, guys. As you can see, we are so dedicated to educating people that we are willing to invest in your first $20 USD of crypto. So you want to come, you learn, you're going to get your first crypto without even having to open up your own wallet to get you guys started and showing you how easy and how wonderful this world is. That's how dedicated we are to education. Thank you for reminding me of that, Matt. I totally forgot about it. It was your idea.
All good. That's why we're partners in crime.
That's it, mate. That's it. All right, guys. Thank you very much, and we'll see you all next week. Have a great
weekend, guys.
See you soon. Bye-bye.